welcome back to SnowRunner. You join us today as we're back in Mountain River, Alaska. Now in the last episode we made a little bit of a pig's ear of things. We were in the Pacific P16, we saw another truck that needed delivering elsewhere, we started towing it, and in doing so we got stuck against some trees and turned ourselves over. So today we're back in Mountain River, we're in the Scout 800 with a Scout trailer on the back and 2 lots of fuel, because I thought we might as well bring something with us rather than come here empty-handed. Now I'm hoping the Scout 800 can get the P16 back on its feet, potentially even pull out the other truck as well and we can get that delivered. But the fuel is for Mountain Maze, the mission that is on the screen top right corner. We're hoping to get that done today if we can, but also maybe some viewpoints. They're not called viewpoints, I know what I mean. Hopefully get some of them done today as well so we can find out more about the map, what else is here. The one big thing we're noticing is a lot of the places on Mountain River have a limited amount of supplies in them. So either we're going to need to bring a lot of supplies back from the other map, which I can't think the name of to save my life at this point, Northport, that was it. So we either need to bring supplies over from Northport for a lot of these missions, or there must be, I think there's another tunnel here to go elsewhere. So once again, we may have to bring things here for that as well. It just seems like there's not enough here to complete the missions on this bit. So we need to bring them from elsewhere. That's how it feels. Whether that's the way it's going to work out, I'm not sure. Hence why we thought, rather than come empty-handed, bring fuel with us. That's something on board that we can use. And hopefully move things forward a little bit. Because in the last episode, we messed up royally. So I'm hoping not to do that this time. That's the hope anyway. But let's see if we can pull these vehicles back and get them back up and running again. The Pacific P16 especially, as that's here to help us, you know, get stuff around. My only concern is, are we powerful enough? Now, I did upgrade the engine of the Scout 800 to a different one, which was better on power, worse on fuel, for 2 reasons. One, because I wanted to try and pull over the P16, so I thought we needed the extra power. But also, with the Scout trailer on the back, that's added weight. And this vehicle, I don't think weighs very much by the looks of it. So, I thought if we had more power, the extra weight on the trailer won't matter as much. It kind of like compensates or evens things out, was my thinking. But we are struggling. I can't seem to get this to go back on its wheels at all. I don't know what we're going to do here. We need something more powerful then, I think, or a crane, or just recover it. I don't really know, but it doesn't seem to be working, which is a bit of a problem. I was hoping this would work. I didn't think it would have an issue like this, and I've obviously got it very, very wrong. Now we spent the next half an hour or so trying to turn the P16 back on its wheels with no luck. We kept trying and kept trying, nothing worked. We also tried to get the other trailer out of the trees, or the other vehicle out of the trees, and that's well and truly stuck as well. I think some of it is a combination of this Scout 800 just isn't strong enough, and some of it is the fact that we're stuck. But instead we're going to continue on and try and get this fuel delivered for Mountain Maze. Well, that was a bust. So let's go to the polar base, deliver the fuel, and then we'll see where we can get wooden planks from, because we also need those as well. And potentially try and see if we can open up some of the map at the same time. I just can't believe that didn't work. We're going to have to either recover the P16, which I really don't want to do, as it's a long drive back, that's the thing, or bring something more powerful here. I don't know which one is the right thing to do here. It might be recover it. It might save all the hassle. And then at least then we could get another train and bring more stuff over here that we need to deliver. That may be the way around it. Because I believe on Northport there aren't limits to what you can take compared to here. So maybe that's the way to do it. Is we cover the P16, load up a load of stuff on its big trailer to help us clear stuff here. That may be the way to do it. And then we somehow got to get the other vehicle, that's a mission vehicle, out of the trees. That's a problem for another day. Honestly, I don't think there's any point worrying about that. So far with the Scout 800, I've mainly been on roads when we've got the trailer on the back. But so far, the engine itself is doing really well. I think it definitely, you can notice the difference and see the difference in the driving in terms of it's not ever so slow, even though it's got weight on the back. But we have mainly done roads, so the big tail will be going off-road, which I believe the polar base is. I don't think it's a proper road all the way there. Right, down here I think we're turning right here, aren't we? Yeah, we're turning right. It's down here we need to go. There is, I don't know if anyone saw it, but there is another, the road carries on to another, I think it's another pipe tunnel, whatever you want to call it, that goes to a different map. So at some point we're going to go and explore that as well. But I want to get missions complete. That's the hard thing. I'm trying to get stuff done and not have episodes wasted, essentially. Whoa, we went too quick. Whoa. Yeah. We turned the corner a little bit too quickly there. Needed to slow a lot more than that on the ice. That was not fun. We survived, luckily. But yeah, that was interesting. So yeah, I'd hate a wasted episode. I want to make sure we're actually completing things per episode. Otherwise it's a massive waste. Well, I feel it is anyway. So we've got to get at least one mission done an episode if possible. That's kind of the aim. Now, we're off-road for the first time with the Scout 800 and trailer on the back. And the weight of the fuel is probably causing us some issues looking at this now. We're struggling to actually get any power down in the mud and the snow. The interesting thing would be, would this still have the same issues without the trailer? Because some vehicles, you can see they do brilliantly with a trailer and some vehicles don't. And even with the upgraded engine for more power, potentially we should have offset the weight and the trailer, but maybe we didn't. Maybe it's not enough. On the road, obviously, it wasn't an issue, but as soon as you off-road, there is a problem. I'm guessing it's weight related. It could be tyre related, to be fair. I think I've got chain tyres on, which should be okay. Well, according to the stats, chain tyres are okay in the mud. They only really affect you driving on roads, to be fair, though. They don't affect ice anywhere else. It's mainly the roads ice that it affects, but even so, that can still cause issues. But yeah, I'm surprised at how much we're struggling here. I really am. I didn't think this would be a problem. Thought we'd offset this, but obviously not. So maybe we need to look at a different scout vehicle for pulling a trailer. I thought the trailer was a good idea, just so we didn't come here empty-handed, but also if we can go and find his wooden planks, they'll fit on the trailer too. So we can do two things at once. We can open up the map, but also try and potentially finish this mission at the same time. At this point, I think this may have been a bad idea. We are winching where we can, to be fair, to keep moving forward. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the vehicle just isn't good at pulling a trailer, because we have the same thing with the Fleet Star. The Fleet Star really struggles when it's got a trailer on the back. It's fine if you've got stuff directly on it, but pulling a trailer, although we have done it recently, it worked brilliantly. Generally, pulling a trailer, it struggles massively, but on its own, it's brilliant. So it could just be that, and this is the wrong scout vehicle for a heavy trailer, which is a possibility. I suppose it comes down to how much the actual vehicle weighs as well. You've got to offset that against the power and the weight and everything else. So yeah, maybe this just isn't the vehicle to use for a trailer with it. Which is something to note and be aware of in the future, I think, to be fair. That's why we very rarely use the Fleet Star of an external trailer, because we know it struggles. And I think that's the big thing, learning the vehicles, learning what they do and don't like. I know they're not people, but knowing what they can actually manage and what they can't manage is a big part, I think, of making sure we get stuff done. That's the thing. We are quite close to the polar base here, though, so we're nearly here. But even without the real thick mud, there's still a big difference in how this is handling and how this is driving. It'd be interesting to see when the fuel's off the trailer, which we'll deliver in a minute, and see how different it is. Because obviously if we fly around without weight on the trailer, that says it's a weight issue. That's the thing. But we'll figure that out in a minute, I think. Let's deliver this fuel first, though, to the polar base. 2 lots of fuel, and then we need to go looking for these wooden planks. There we go. 2 lots of fuel delivered. Perfect. So wooden planks needed. We'll find those in due course. But let's try and get this. I hate reversing trailers and turning. I just really struggle with this. Not just on SnowRunner. I've struggled on other things as well. Roadcraft. Me reversing big trailers, especially loose trailers that aren't a solid fixed point on the back. I struggle massively with those. Solid trailers aren't too bad. But yeah, just can't get turning right. I know there's something probably obvious I'm missing and not doing, but I just seem to get it completely wrong. Is that going to make the corner around that stump? If that stump wasn't there, this wouldn't be a problem, to be honest. Come on. Good stuff to do. Can't mess around like this. Got some exploring the map and finding new things. Come on. Okay, I think that's worked. I think with our turning circle, yeah. Okay, we're sorted. Right, there is a mission to pick up opposite us, so we'll pick that up while we're here. There's no point leaving it. At least then we know what we've got to do for it later on. That's a curtain-side trailer, I believe. Okay. Environmental issue. What does this involve? Ah, okay. So taking the curtain-side trailer to the research zone. So something we'll have to do at a later time is go and pick up this curtain-side trailer and take it to the research zone. Okay, that's good to know. So we're going to head south now from here and try and get to there, the watchtower, so we can open up the map a little bit and see more what's around us. We'll keep the trailer on the back because hopefully we can find these wooden planks and then bring them here to complete a mission today, essentially. I would love to get to more than one mission done an episode, and we do manage it sometimes. It depends on what is involved, but we do need to explore the map too. If we don't find everything, we're not going to know where things are. I think the big thing we need to do is that pipeline fix. So on the last episode we had a quick look at it, and there's a pipeline that's all over the road, and I believe there is a mission to fix it. So we need to get that done really to give ourselves more ways of reaching different areas, essentially. So that's something we need to look at. But for the minute, let's head for the watchtower. You can see the difference in how the Scout Hound is performing with a trailer. There is a big difference. So I think the fuel was too heavy for it. It just didn't have the pull or the torque, whatever you want to call it, to actually pull the trailer with that weight on. It's definitely not as quick as it is on the road, and it's not as quick without a trailer. But with the trailer on, it's okay. As soon as you add weight, it changes things. I do wonder whether the wooden planks will make a difference. You know, will they be as tough to drive with as the fuel was? Which one weighs more? That's the thing, because we don't know. I don't know if them numbers are in the game anywhere. I've not seen them. But I do wonder if that's potentially a problem, and whether they're less than the fuel. We'll know by driving, especially. Yeah, if the trailer is handling better with the wooden planks, then I would say they're lighter than the 2 lots of fuel. But we'll see. We've got to find the place to pick them up first. Okay, struggling to get up the hill here. I know it's snow. I know it's not massively muddy, though, I wouldn't say. But I don't know if the trailer's pulling us back, essentially. I'm not sure. But this is the watchtower. Let's activate it and see what's around. Okay, what have we found? Upgrade location discovered. We haven't really got many upgrades in Alaska yet, I don't think, that I can remember. That's something we need to look out for. What do we got? Okay. There's a few things north. That's actually where we've just come from. Is it not? I think it was. Okay. Well, let's open up the map a little bit. It's nothing really we didn't know about, though, I would say. I was saying on the map there's a sawmill, so we want to head towards that sawmill for the wooden planks. But yeah, it seems we missed the upgrade after dropping off the fuel. There seems to be behind the building that gave us the mission. I think that's where the upgrade is, so that's something we need to look at. If not today, next time. But we're going to try and get to the sawmill. On the way, try and get the watchtower nearby done as well. I think that's a good plan. And then get back to the polar base, essentially. So that's done as well. Right, we're going to go down here, but I'm trying to get the actual trailer to come around. I think it was getting caught on the watchtower there, so we need to make sure it's a wider turn. There we go. Downhill should be easier than it was uphill, to be fair. If it's not, there's a problem. There doesn't seem to be a lot on this map so far from what we've seen. Other than a lot of the buildings not having unlimited amounts of supplies, like Michigan. I think Michigan obviously is the first map, the tutorial map essentially. So everything being unlimited makes sense. And Alaska having limits on what you take from where. Definitely an interesting concept. You've got to really plan what you plan to do. The problem is you can't always see what all the missions entail ahead of time, especially the side missions. Come on, tree. Took the corner the wrong way. Tried to be quicker, and yeah, that was a mistake. Got to get round this tree. I need to get the angle to reverse up so I can pull it round and take the corner better. I think that might be right, actually. Yeah, I can't remember if Northport was unlimited everywhere, or if there were limits. I think the fuel was unlimited. But I can't remember the other stuff at the minute. But it'd be interesting to see how that works, especially going forward. If there's limits to what you take from different places, you do really need to plan. But the missions you can't see ahead of time, the side missions, like I'm saying, they're going to prove difficult because you're not going to be able to plan ahead for them as such. Because otherwise, you're going to end up bringing something from miles away to something where you start with, because there's nothing locally that has what you need because you've used it elsewhere. So that's an interesting concept, one that's going to, I think, affect things going forward quite a bit. I'm still looking at vehicles as well. We mentioned it previously about DLC vehicles. I don't want to use DLC vehicles until we start the DLC, and that's a long way off. Any DLC is a long way off at this point. So no DLC vehicles until we've got to that DLC. But at the same time, we was talking about using vehicles and buying vehicles that you can't find in game. Now I am finding lists and stuff that people have said these are the ones you can buy that aren't found and all this. But I'm still a little bit uncertain. I don't want to rush doing it and mess up and we find the vehicle after buying it, because we always said we wouldn't buy vehicles. But I think we have to make the exception if we can't find the vehicle for free elsewhere. Otherwise we'd never use half the vehicles in the game, would we? So I need to really cut that list properly and have a proper look at what we can and can't do. And then we'll start hopefully buying a few new things we can use and test them out. As you know, you guys have watched this series for a while now, and we are going a while. We do try and use different vehicles all the time. So we try not to use the same vehicle over and over again, even if it might be the best vehicle for that job. Well, I do prefer changing vehicle as much as possible. So because of that, we do want some new vehicles just to vary up a bit more, really. You know, there are sometimes you do think I should just use this vehicle because I'll be done in 10 minutes. But me being me, go, well, actually, I've not used that for a while. Let's use that instead. That's the thing. So it's one of those. I'm trying to weigh up, obviously, making progress, but also not using the same thing over and over again, being boring. I like a bit of a challenge, but at the same time, we do need to get stuff done. It's definitely a trying to work things out process at this point, I must admit. But we are making progress with the Scout. As I say, there is a difference driving this with the trailer with nothing on the trailer. So that's an interesting one to see. Right, we've got choice direction set. I think we want to go across the water, don't we? There is a road or a track going across. I just don't want to, are we going to go across and be in deep snow because there's no track the other side? No, there is. I think there is a track the other side as well. Doesn't on the map it doesn't seem like there is one, but I think there is. And we want to go over here, see what this place is. We're near the sawmill as well. Yeah, I think we head for that big area. See what that building is, see what they supply, and then sawmill after that, I think. Seems to be a good plan of attack. So on the map it didn't show a track going across here, but we can see it's there. So the map is a little bit deceiving in that regard. So it's something we need to be aware of. But then it did look quite open. The trees kind of had a gap, didn't they, between them? So it kind of told you there was a way through, essentially. Sorry about that. But yeah, we're just going to get on here. We're still struggling a little bit, but then I think that's the mud more than anything else now. The one thing I'm noticing is you see our fuel for this is draining quickly. This new engine we put in is problematic when it comes to fuel, but luckily we can carry a decent amount on us. The downside is it the right engine to be using because of the fuel? I think that's the thing we've got to weigh up as well. So the engine that we put in, I can't remember what it's called. I'm trying to have a look while we're driving, but it's not the easiest thing to do. We upgrade to the Het 6V 5.0 engine, which I think is the top engine you can have for the Scout 800, because I think we own all of them now. And yeah, you can definitely see the fuel is draining quicker than it normally would. So that's something we'll think about. The extra power, is it worth it for the fuel loss? I don't know if it is. Especially now we have noticed, again, planks may be different, but we have noticed it struggles with a trailer. So if this isn't going to have a trailer on the back, because it's rubbish with it, then we may want to downgrade the engine back to what we had, because that way we can go further on the fuel. And if we don't need the power for pulling, towing, whatever, then it doesn't matter with downgrading, does it really? Although we can't do that until we find out a garage, admittedly. But yeah, I think that might be the thing that I look at. Right, we're here. Trailer discovered. Service trailer. Nice, that's good fuel. Is it service trailer fuel or is it just fixing? I can't remember now. Right, this place is... service hub. That's service hub up there. It's a service hub. There we go. And it's got drilling equipment times 4 and drilling spare parts times 1. That's it. Okay, so we've got 2 of these by the looks of things. One at the top and one at the bottom. Okay, well, it's good to know. I'm sure we'll need those at something. What do we got? Anything that needs them? Not there. Anything? No. No. Okay, drilling spare parts times 4. So I'm assuming the drilling spare parts need picking up from there for that mission. By the looks of things. So that's something we'll have to do in due course, I think. What have these got? Anything else? No. Right. Sawmill, I think, is the next point of call, isn't it? Watchtowers to the left. So we go to the sawmill, pick up our wooden planks, and then we may have to go straight back. I don't know if we're going to have a chance to get the other watchtower done, to be fair. That's a big old trailer, isn't it? That is a big old trailer. I didn't mean to hit it either, to be fair. Just trying to go underneath it. So that's something we need to look at. But yeah, so we saw the mission that needed the drilling equipment, so that's an interesting one. At least we know where to get it from now. But the biggest issue we have, I think, is opening up the roads. We still need to finish that bridge as well. I think I might look at that, see what we need to bring across to the bridge, and either we recover the P16 or we bring a different vehicle with a trailer across with whatever that bridge needs to fix the bridge. Because we've done part of it, we haven't done all of it. So I think that might be the thing to bring across with us next time. Once the bridge is finished, we should be able to get to the watchtowers a bit easier and also access that part of this map a bit easier. Right, wooden planks going on. There we go. Wooden planks on board. Oh, they're not the ones I was thinking of. I thought these were the ones that take up 2 slots, but they don't. It's only 1. So we won't have definitely won't have as much weight as the fuel, I don't think. Right, obviously we're going to get back to the polar base from here. So left from here seems to be both watchtowers. Definitely easier if we had the bridge though, to be fair. So that's... we're not going to have a chance to do watchtowers now, I don't think. I think we'll need to try and get back to the polar base, really. But with... yeah. I'm in 2 minds what to do here. I think, obviously, finish the mission is something. Well, how what kind of time are we on for? You know, I don't like these episodes to be longer than half an hour if I can avoid it. Or around half an hour max. We have had some that are longer because the mission is quite intense and involving. But in general, we try and keep the length down. Mainly because I kind of understand there's not many people that can sit there for 40-50 minutes and watch a video. It does get annoying, it does get boring, you know. No matter what the game is, after a while you're going to want something different. I know a lot of people say in this day and age as well, the attention spans are a lot shorter, and TikTok has something to do with that, they claim. I think it's true to a degree. You know, shorts on YouTube are quite big at the minute. I know they've been big for a while, but I think there is something to that. That attention spans have changed, so they are lower. So people want small, shorter episodes, but you can't always do that, especially a game like this. There's no point doing a 15-minute episode and we achieve nothing. That's the problem, isn't it? Right, I think we got to... are we going across here? No, let's keep going down this road. I think I'm trying to go back the same way we came to the polar base, but I think that's probably a bad idea. Let's see if we can get through up here. But yeah, so that's one of the things I do try and take into consideration. I don't like cutting things out if I can help it either. Although, obviously, when we do logging missions, we do cut out the return journeys, because that's the frustrating part. So, yeah, we try not to cut much out, because I just think you're not getting a full view of what we're doing. That's a trailer store there. So, yeah, that's something we do take into consideration. What is this? Okay, they've got metal, so they're metal beams. We need those for the bridge. So that's the factory. Okay. We need one set of metal beams to the bridge, but we can bring them from Northport. Okay, so it's got 2 lots of metal beams that we can use. We can't take them now because it requires 2 slots of beams. We do need to get across the other side, I think. Can we get out the back? Probably not, to be fair. If we go back to the road, you can just see at the top, on the top of this road, there's the pipeline. So I don't know how far we can go that way. But yeah, so we know we can get 1 set of metal beams there, but we don't necessarily have to use them from there. We can bring them from Northport. I need to double check on Northport if there are limits to what every place does. If there isn't, we can bring stuff across. If there is, it's going to be a case of trying to work out what mission is what to where. Yeah, it's going to take a bit of time. But yeah, it's one of those. We are rapidly running out of time today as well. If I'm sticking to my rough half an hour guideline, we're running out of time. Okay, so that is blocked off. I thought it was. I think we have a mission for that. I need to have a proper look at these missions, go through what we need, where we're getting it from, and try and make a plan. Michigan, I tried to plan everything out, you know, ahead of time, so I knew what, like, we're doing this mission followed by this mission. This vehicle's going to be so and so. You know, I did all that. Haven't done that on Alaska so far, mainly because we're not far into it, admittedly. But I haven't really planned the best way of doing things as of yet. I definitely think that's something I need to do though. Otherwise, we're not going to really achieve much, are we? That's the problem. Okay, we're in mud again. Trader's only got 1 set of wooden planks on board compared to the 2 fuel we had previously. So I don't think it's the weight that's necessarily the issue in the mud. I think it's the mud's the issue. It's just that type of mud that's so bad to drive through. But there is definitely a difference to driving with 1 set of planks to 2 lots of fuel. That's very noticeable. I think the disappointing thing today as well, very much is 1 watchtower. There's 2 more to still do here. And I was hoping to have all of them done today, and it's just not happened. I think getting stuck in the mud and the snow hasn't helped. It slowed us down massively. Not being able to turn over the Pacific P16 is a disappointment. And not getting that vehicle out of the tree so we can deliver that as well. For another mission, that's a disappointment as well. So we've got a few disappointments at the minute. But we'll figure things out. We always do, to be fair. It's just a case of working what's the best way. I think the thing with Alaska I've noticed so far, compared to Michigan, is not just the planning that we need to plan better for Alaska, but also you get caught out so much with the environment. Whereas Michigan, we kind of knew what we was up against in a lot of areas. It was a bit of mud. But that was about it. Here, though, you're finding that snow causes you issues. The mud causes you issues. The roads you've got to be careful on because you're scared. And the tyres for the roads don't necessarily do fantastic in mud. Well, we need to head right here if we're heading for the polar base. So yeah, I think it's alright planning what you plan to do. But if you get slowed down because you get stuck in the mud for 10 minutes, then we're not going to achieve exactly what we wanted to achieve that episode because we haven't managed to get done what we want to get done because we've been slowed down. So it's something I've got to think about and work out, and that's why I try and link missions as well. So if we've got a vehicle going to somewhere with something, it's what does that place then have that we can pick up and take elsewhere? That's what I do try and do as much as possible. But I think with Alaska I need to plan better. I think that's the big thing. Plan better. Be better. Do you know what? I'm glad we got this series back. Like I say, we lost out in the summer. I'm still struggling now with drowsiness. You'll notice it in my driving sometimes as well. or when I'm slowing my words and not talking as much. Very noticeable. But this was the one series I really missed doing. I love the game, I really do. And I know it's going to be long term on the channel to actually get every map and every DLC done. So it's still adding DLC. I think it's a very long time. But I don't mind that. As long as we're still doing stuff per episode, I don't mind how many episodes we do. My issue is more... I need time. Because, you know, to record a half an hour's episode takes half an hour if we're not cutting anything out. If we're cutting out some of the travelling, then that's longer than half an hour to do that. You know, it could be 40-50 minutes to do one episode because, you know, that we're taking out the travelling. So it's something I'm trying to weigh up and work out. It's one game that is easy to stop doing because it takes so long. If you're short on time, that's the thing. But enough of me jabbering. We're here. We're just about out of time for the day. Let's deliver these wooden planks, and that is that mission complete. Wooden planks delivered, along with the fuel from earlier, and we are done. Massive thank you guys for joining us today. We're back next time for more SnowRunner. Until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.